Good evening, students. Today we'll go to the next topic, that is about the cell wall. In the previous class, we had discussed about the cell membrane or the plasma membrane, which is the last cover or last membrane in case of animal cells. But in case of plant cell, that is the second last cover. The last cover of the plant cell is called the cell wall. So that means in a plant cell, outermost part you have the cell wall, and next to it you have the cell membrane. And in case of animal cell, it is only consist of the plasma membrane or the cell membrane. No presence of cell wall exists in case of animals, as you all know. Now, talking about the cell wall, since it is present on the outside, it is understood that it has to be a hard cover. You must have noticed wherever we have the boundary, if you take the example of boundary of our houses, the boundary of the house is bounded by the four walls, which are also very, very strong. So that means if you have something on the outer side, it definitely has to be strong. Similarly is case with the plant cell. The strong cover, very hard outer cover of the plant cell is the cell wall. And if you talk about its composition, you may ask me that why is it hard, or what is the component that makes it hard? It is the cellulose. Cellulose is a complex carbohydrate and it makes the cell wall very hard, and since it is very hard, it provides as a outer membrane of the plant cell. So basically the function of the cellulose is to provide structural strength to the plant. So that is the main function of cellulose. You might be asked in the exam, what is the function of cellulose, or what is the composition of the cell wall, and what is its function? I may ask you in the exam, what is the composition of the cell wall and what is its function? So you will write that the composition of the cell wall is made up of cellulose, and cellulose is a complex carbohydrate, and its main work is to give structural strength to the plant cell. So this is about the cell wall. I hope you are clear with it. We'll go to the next topic now. The next topic is a very important topic, which is the nucleus. The nucleus, if you take the reference of the nucleus, it is present in both plant as well as animal cell. But the nucleus, it is called as the brain of the cell. Now the question again arises, why is it called as the brain of the cell? Because this nucleus controls and coordinates all chemical activities of the cell. Whatever activity takes place inside the cell, the nucleus controls and coordinates all activities. Like our brain. If you talk of our brain, whatever we want to do or whatever we do, every activity is controlled and coordinated by our brain. Similarly is in the case of the cell. All activities inside the cell, they are controlled and coordinated by the nucleus. Now the nucleus is located inside the cell, so it is an important cell organelle, and the nucleus is covered by a membrane called as the nuclear membrane. The nucleus, on the outer portion of the nucleus is covered just like this, a round cover like structure, and that cover like structure is called as the nuclear membrane, a small round structure, but the structure is double layered. The structure is double layered structure, and it is called as the nuclear membrane. Now if you talk about the composition of the nuclear membrane, or what is present inside the nuclear membrane, inside the nuclear membrane you have nucleoplasm. Inside the nuclear membrane I just said the nuclear membrane is present on the outer portion. Inner portion you have the nucleus. Inner portion you have the nucleus. The entire structure is the nucleus. Okay, please understand, the entire structure is the nucleus. The outer cover is called as the nuclear membrane, and inside the outer cover there is a semi-liquid type of substance which is called as the nucleoplasm. Now in the nucleoplasm you have chromosomes. I don't know whether you are familiar with this word or not. The word is chromosomes, and these chromosomes are only visible during cell division. As you know, cell division is an important process. The cell, like we grow because of cell division. Cell has to divide from one to next, one to many, 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6 and many. So the cell has to divide continuously if you want to grow. Whether it is brain cell, whether it is the heart cell, whether it is the blood cell, all cells should grow. Now that process is called as cell division. Now the nucleus, as I just said, the nucleus contains chromosomes which are visible only during cell division. And I was also talking about the nuclear membrane. I hope you remember. The nuclear membrane was the outer cover. Inside the nuclear membrane you have the nucleoplasm, that is a semi-fluid type of substance. Now the nuclear membrane, it is built in such a way that it allows entry and exit of some substances only, just like the plasma membrane. The nuclear membrane also does not allow everything. Anything and everything will not come inside the nucleus. The nuclear membrane is also very selective. It will allow some substances to get in, it will allow some substances to get out. So that is the function of the nuclear membrane. And it has pores inside it through which the transfer takes place in and out of the nucleus. So we talked about the nucleus, we talked about the nuclear membrane, we talked about the nucleoplasm. We also talked about that chromosomes are present inside the nucleus, and chromosomes are visible only during cell division. Now the content is, the chromosomes, they contain the hereditary information that is passed from one generation to the next generation. Like you must have seen that we resemble our parents, we look like our parents. Our parents look like our grandparents. Our children will look like us. So that is the concept of chromosome. So chromosome contains hereditary information which is transferred from one generation to the next generation, or from the parental generation to the next generation. The chromosomes, inside the chromosomes you have those hereditary material. Now, how is the hereditary material transferred? The hereditary material is transferred in the form of DNA. As I just said, that the hereditary material is present inside the chromosomes, and it is transferred from one generation to the next generation in the form of DNA. DNA will get transferred. Like from our parents, we got their DNA. From our DNA, when we will have children, it will get on to the child in the next generation. So the DNA gets transferred, and the full form of DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. You can see here, deoxyribonucleic acid. So basically, if you talk about chromosomes, chromosomes contain DNA as well as proteins. If you are asked about the composition of chromosomes, as I just said, that chromosomes are present inside the nucleus, and the chromosomes contain DNA and proteins. And DNA, as I just said, it is transferred from one generation to the next. And talking about proteins, proteins are helpful for growth. Without proteins, you cannot grow. And whatever DNA gets transferred from one generation to the next generation, inside the DNA you have the genes. Therefore, genes are called as the functional segments of DNA. The functional parts of the DNA are called as the genes. Genes, along with the DNA, genes also get transferred from one generation to the next generation. Now, if you see a non-dividing cell, a cell which does not divide, it is a special case though, a cell which will not divide or which does not have the capacity of division, in that you will find the DNA as chromatin. The cell which is not in a position to divide or not ready for division, you will get the DNA in those type of cells as chromatin. And chromatin, how will you see? If you observe under the microscope or observe the DNA in case of a non-dividing cell, you will find that it is present as a thread-like structure, just like a thread, many threads together, entangled, many threads together. If you take white thread, many white threads together, you will find that many white threads, whatever the look will be of many white threads, that will be the look of chromatin. So chromatin is present in a non-dividing cell, but in a dividing cell, this chromatin will become the chromosome. So at the young stage, the cell may not divide. In that case, that the DNA is present in the form of chromatin. When the cell will divide, the DNA is present in the form of chromosome. I hope I am clear to you. Now this is the slide that has all the information. I want you to go through the slide again and again. Now we'll talk about the functions of the nucleus. As I've already told you that the nucleus is called as the brain of the cell. You might be asked in the exam, many times it is asked at the board level also, why is it called the brain of the cell? It helps in controlling and coordinating all activities of the cell. Therefore, it is called as the brain of the cell. Secondly, it plays a major role in cell division. It plays a major role in cell division, like how the cell divides. Everything is controlled and coordinated by the nucleus. How from one cell, 2 cells will be formed, from 2 cells, 4 cells will be formed. All those activities are it is the responsibility of the nucleus. The third function is the nucleus determines how much a cell will develop, how much a cell will mature. Again, over maturation or low maturation is again not proper in case of human body or any living organisms. So appropriate development, appropriate maturity is determined by the nucleus.